went through the wiring on his truck.
That could have been,
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough that it was the truck, but that could have been really bad.
Thank goodness nobody was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That caller said, it'll be a while for him home. I'll talk to you when I get home.
I bet.
I think the other guy has enough money too. I think he was going to be responsible. I don't know what they were going to do.
Man.
Oh my goodness. And then of course, when it went off, it was a bang, a big bang.
Probably took them a while before they could hear.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Judy.
You're fine.
It's the scenic route.
I forgot all about you because you usually come early. And I'm like, has anybody heard from Judy? And I know I talked to her last night. She was planning on coming.
Scenic route.
What is the scenic route?
It's
Probably got lost.
up in the county, across the river and down through the woods.
Oh,
You already had your adventure for today.
It's a song over the river.
Over the
through
river, the woods.
Yes, it's the
The
Thanksgiving
most
song.
else we go.
Actually,
Yeah.
I guess it was a Christmas song.
Mm-hmm.
They adopted it.
I was just saying, I hoped whoever was coming looked on the map to check and make sure.
Huh?
Make sure they knew where the library was. I looked on my map.
Oh,
Last
good
night.
for you. I knew. You had to go this side of town.
In reference to what you were just talking about the song, did you know that Jingle Bells was originally a Thanksgiving song?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
All this
I don't know how.
trivia information.
At least you're our.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're waiting for?
Yeah.
We're waiting on you.
Well, I'll leave again.
Oh, no, you don't.
I don't have anything.
I have all the board members there on top. So.
Oh, yeah, next month I can find my way to Lawrenceburg. In January I can find my way down there. So anyway, I'm just looking. Oh, I'm fine. I looked at it. No, I could see it.
Wait a minute. That's what we are.
Huh.
And of course, you know, I don't do well at night, so I took my own sweet time. Sorry. Except
You're here. You are here.
Here.
That's the important thing.
But you think so you may not by the time the evening's over.
Uh-oh.
Any more headway?
All right. By the clock on the wall, it's 7 o'clock, so I will call the meeting to order. Janet, can we have a roll call, please?
It's gonna work off because we used to have like a breakdown of all 10 members on here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll put a note to put one in here for
I'll
you.
just. All right, I'm just gonna go around the table because we don't have anybody online. So let's start. Scotty Walker,
Present.
Judy Tyler,
Here.
I cannot type tonight. It's going well. Patty Long here. Jane Gill here. Judy Walter
That's me.
and Jana Brookshire. I am here. We have a quorum.
All right.
Do I need to call the names of the folks who aren't here?
Probably, since it's a roll call. I probably would.
Does anybody want to lend me their little cheat sheet so that I know I don't miss a name?
Ron McMullen
Ron McMullen, Georgia Jarman,
and Carlin Dillon.
Carlin Dillon,
And
And
Sandy
Sandy.
Hankey.
Sandy Hankey. None of them mentioned that they're here.
I didn't hear it.
Usually it's Sandy like a few minutes, not minutes, but a couple seconds later it's like, oh, I'm here.
Do we have any public comments? All right. Amy, do you have a
I
report?
just want to welcome everybody here. I'm Amy Bowen, the branch manager. You've been on the board a while, I think, haven't you?
Yeah.
We've met, and when you were when I worked quarter and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I have been the branch manager here since 2010. I grew up in this Waverly, so I've seen all different branches of trails when it started, when I was a little kid on the other block, and things like that. So I love it here. It is a pleasure to serve my community where I grew up. It means so much. So I don't have a whole lot of anything else to say. I just want to share with you guys this little fun scavenger hunt that we're going to be doing for the children for the summer activities. I'm also going to try to get my older adults to do this as well in the adult circle to get them up and moving around. So any other questions that you guys have about what we do here or anything, I'd be glad to answer those.
I don't see a snap one on there.
We don't see a snap.
Crack Snapple.
Correct. Snap.
Oh, where the leg is broken off. Oh.
I guess I can add him in separate and hiding somewhere, and then they can come in. Stuff like that. We are still kind of rebuilding from COVID, trying to get the numbers back up here. Unfortunately, a lot of our community attends preschool here at Santa Fe, who we have first coming.
What was the adult circle?
The adult circle is for adults, men, women, it doesn't matter. Right now, it consists mainly of 5 widowed women who come every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. We play games like Uno. They love playing, you know, games, whatever, and then they share ideas of what they're cooking for dinner, whatever. We do trivia games, mind games, things just keep them active and things like that. I was telling Jackie earlier, they like sharing their homemade recipes, so every Wednesday they bring in something that they've baked because, you know, they don't have anybody else to bake for. So, yeah, so you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. You know, and it's a real pleasure. I actually had one of the daughters of one of the ladies that come in the other day and thanked me for offering this because it gets her out of the senior housing and gets her here because since COVID, they don't like to get together much at the senior housing anymore because a lot of them are of older age and, you know, don't want to get out. So Fern attends all the time. She's back to attending because she had surgery that put her down for a while. She's doing well. And, you know, they depend on each other. If one needs a ride, one goes get them, and that's what they do. But it's usually the same 5 ladies, but they enjoy it. So, like I said, we're struggling with preschool story time because our school district offers preschool 5 days a week. So we have a 3-4-year-old and a 5-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old, depending on how their birthday falls. So we could get those in here. It'd be fine, but you know, it's hard getting them in here. And teenagers, if you guys can get a teenager, send them my way. I would greatly appreciate it. So that's all I have. If anybody else has questions, I'd be.
Have any of the STEM kits made it here yet?
Actually, yes. We use the music STEM kit minus the pieces that they would blow in. I took those away just for the simple fact that I didn't want them sharing germs and I didn't feel comfortable. You know, I actually used it about the time, it was in October. My grandson and granddaughter had been diagnosed with RSV. So I just didn't feel comfortable, but they actually loved the maracas and all that stuff.
All the other noises.
You know, and the mother thanked me for putting them away when we were done. That is the only one I have used here so far, but on my 2023 programming, I have 2 things scheduled that we're going to try to use to get the kids in here and do it on a Saturday. So this community is very athletic, whatever. They participate in every sport possible. So to get kids in here is very, very hard. Very, very hard. So we have traveling leagues, everything that the kids participate in. So, like I told Jackie when we met earlier, I have a text group that I send out to remind parents when story time and everything is. 1 week we have 5, 1 week we have 1, some weeks we have 9.
You have to do that.
I just go with the flow and thankful for what shows up and go on. I know. Listening to Will Steck give his presentation or whatever that we had at Warrensburg, he encouraged us not to be discouraged by the numbers. And that is the main thing I brought out of that meeting was don't be discouraged. Because there's been a lot of that since COVID.
Well, it is the fact that you're only open certain days of the week doesn't help any either.
Yes. Well, Wednesday nights were open till 6, and we did have 3 or 4 people in here tonight after 5 o'clock getting books and things like that. So, you know, we just go with the flow. Try not to get discouraged. That's the big thing. I started here in 2010. My programming members were out of the roof, you know, but those kids have grown up and moved on, and we don't have young families staying in the community. So, and that's hard. That's hard. So, but anyhow, that's all I have for tonight. I'm going to sneak out of here and go eat my Cheerios. And I hope you guys have a safe time home.
I was just going to let you know that I have a group of about 4 or 5 13-year-old boys that come in the store, especially during the summer, and they want to use the bathroom. I said, go to the library. I don't want to go to the library. I said, I didn't tell you had to read a book. So,
they would come and use the bathroom. That would be
It is.
so it's not just Waverly. They just don't want to go to the library anywhere. So.
No, they don't. But I'm going to keep chugging along and not get discouraged. So, all right, I'm going to lock the door behind you.
Thank you very much.
Behind me.
Thanks, Amy.
See you guys later.
Thank you.
Sorry to be late.
That's okay. We just got started.
We got
so.
on a long, dark road.
Same scenic route that I did.
Well, I was going to make a public comment. I am so excited about tonight because I will never have to come to Waverly in the middle of the night again. If I want to come to Waverly, it's going to be in the daytime where I know where I'm at.
Roll call. Georgia Jarman.
Here.
Carla Dillon.
Here.
Wonderful.
I told Jackie I was here about 5:15. I started way early so that it wasn't dark, and I looked up on the map last night, so I could get here. Yeah.
Well, either that or maybe we should move the Waverly visit in the summertime when it's likely. I'm sure they fill holes in also. Yeah, I was going to say, I bet they feel the same way about coming to Holden.
I would love Waverly to be in October because that's
Yes, I agree.
the orchard. Right before the time.
And I thought to myself, you know, if I come earlier today, here's is still open to a certain hour.
Okay.
I missed that. So.
Next time.
All righty.
No, there will be a next time for me.
We appreciate you coming this time.
They did too. They were afraid they were going to have a meeting.
I just hate driving at night anymore, especially these new headlights that cars have.
Oh, I
Want to like burn your eyeballs out or something.
Mine also has an automatic dimmer, so they kind of get the hint real quick.
All right. Consent agenda items. Did we get minutes?
Oh, no. You sent them to me.
I sent them to you.
I forgot to send them out with the check register, so we'll have those in December.
Okay.
That's my fault.
What is the problem there?
What?
That we don't have minutes.
I've been sending them late.
Well, you need to get on the ball, Jana. Especially when you're sitting there with a computer in front of you.
Believe me, it is a process.
I know you have
It
small
is.
children and all that other stuff,
Yeah, I know.
but
This time it was my fault.
it's your fault.
It was my
She
fault.
always takes it.
I didn't have them for the packet, but I was supposed to send them out with the check register, and I completely forgot. So I
She
apologize.
wanted to forget the check register.
I got nothing to say, Jen. I was late too, so it happens.
I got nothing to say because I know exactly how you feel.
You know, I remember the days when we had the minutes within 2 days of our meeting. And I guess that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I've never
We're-
gotten them that.
Yeah, we used to get the minutes.
Were you ever on the board with Charles Keesman?
No,
Okay.
but Anita used to take the minutes, and somebody told her she had to have them out within so many hours, so she'd go back and she'd get them out.
If it was my day job, it would be easier.
Yeah, that's true.
Charles Keesman used to handwrite the minutes, and it was just he just write them while we're having the meeting. He had this beautiful handwriting. He's writing them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He had beautiful handwriting.
Yeah, and then we got the minutes, very quickly. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying I don't know how he did it because I could just sit there and read while he was writing, and you couldn't read anything I was writing. So
I know, when I take notes. Okay, so shall we take a...
yeah. Any questions on any of the financial information?
I think it looks like, and I may have missed a meeting where you talked about it, we're consolidating funds. Is that what all of the in and out bank statements are about?
I'm not sure exactly
was
which
the
part
next.
you're talking about.
Well, we don't
It was-
need all that.
Okay. Judy's already told me this. She's like, why are you giving us all this extra information? I'm like, because I'm not really sure, and the reports have changed, so
Yeah,
I don't want to not give you enough information.
I'm glad you did, and it gives me an opportunity to ask.
But it seems to be repetitive. Yeah, a lot of them are, but sometimes it's repetitive in certain areas, but then you have other information. So I'll kind of go back because, like Judy was saying, we don't need this cover page every time, it's
Right.
the same every time.
And we didn't need a photocopy of
Of the
sample
check.
checks that we
Yeah.
couldn't read anyhow.
So I'll go back to how I've been doing it. But I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna stick it all in there. So, okay, lesson learned. I won't do that again. It was a lot. It was a lot to go through.
Really, all you
Yeah, and
need
I
is
kept
the
waiting for
report.
something different, and I really didn't
What
see
people
it.
are doing in the last few pages of the.
Mhm. Okay, I'll go back to how I was doing it before then for you guys. I just didn't want to leave out information if you guys wanted it.
We'll tell you about it.
Too much than not enough, though, wouldn't we?
That's my philosophy too. Yeah, to answer your question, I'm sorry, a lot of the things were messed up, and so some of that is trying to correct all of those things. So when we find mistakes, we have to credit it in one spot and then put it in one, or vice versa, depending on whether it's revenue or expenditures. So, yeah, we're down to, I think, 4 things that I'm trying to get with the accountant on to get fixed or to get my questions answered.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Great.
I'd take the motion to approve the consent agenda. If anyone wants to,
I'll second.
motion by Jane and a second by Georgia. Is there any further discussion? We'll take a roll call vote, please.
Judy Tyler,
Yes.
Patty Long,
Yes.
Jane Beal,
Yes.
Harlan Dillon,
Yes.
Judy Walter,
Yes.
Georgia Jarman,
Yes.
myself, yes, Scotty Walker,
Yes.
unanimous.
All right. No unfinished business this month. New business.
Okay, so the agenda items, consider approval to apply for the LSTA Summer Library Program 2023 grant. Wish they'd give these shorter names. You have to have this whole long thing. And I'm not sure it was in the documentation that I sent you, so I looked it up, and we could be awarded up to $15,000 for that. So that would be just for our summer reading program.
Wow.
So I'm happy to answer any questions that I sent the application out, but I'll try to answer any questions you might have.
I move to approve the application for LSTA Summer Library Program 2023 Technology Mini Grant. Goodness.
I second that.
I have a motion by Georgia and a second by Judy Tyler to apply for the LSTA Summer Library Program 2023 grant. Is there any discussion? roll call vote. Is it necessary to do roll call votes anymore?
I think it's only for
School
certain
boards, they
things.
only, do it for certain things.
Okay.
Things like, approval of the agenda and, if it's a hiring, firing, things like that.
No, we just started when COVID started since we were closed, but now that we're open, can we just take a show of hands?
I don't see
I'm
one.
okay with that.
Okay.
You guys?
How would I note that in the minutes?
So many yays, so many nays, yeah.
It'll be easier.
Yes,
Hopefully.
council.
Counting I can do.
Unless you prefer to call everybody's name. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
7 yes. No, 8 yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. All right.
Oh, I read that wrong.
The approval of the next grant.
So consider approval to accept the award for $19,990 for the LSTA Technology Mini Grant, which this is kind of the step 2 of our project that we were awarded the Tech Mini Grant for last fiscal year. So we applied to finish replacing all of the computers, and so we were awarded that. So I just need your permission to accept the grant.
I'll move.
Second that.
All right, we have a motion. Who moved?
Patty.
Patty moved. Judy Walter seconded to accept the 19.9 grant. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 8-0. Just out of curiosity, did we apply for a certain amount?
For this one, yes, and we were awarded what we applied for.
Okay, I just wondered because it just seemed like such a random amount. So
Yeah, typically when of course, I didn't write this grant, but typically I would have been like 20,000. I would have made sure it was. But
Gets their attention now.
it does. Yeah.
okay,
Ready for the next
one.
Okay. So consider approval to accept the award for $715.99 for the Missouri State Library CSLP promotional grant. So this is one we didn't even really have to apply for, but we do have to accept the award.
Talk about a random amount.
Yeah. Well, give us another penny.
How do you get it? Because you don't have to apply for it? It
Mhm.
happens?
So it's sent out by the state library, and so they get so much, and then they divvy that up, and it's for promotional items for your summer reading program. So like posters, bookmarks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just to kind of help with the promotion of your summer reading program.
I move we accept it.
I second it.
I have a motion by Georgia and a second by Judy Walter. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, so I think it was Judy that had asked me to put this on the agenda for November. So to consider the approval to change the December meeting date to December 14th, which would be the second Wednesday instead of the third.
Otherwise, it falls, just a few days before Christmas. I'm sure you're all busy. You don't want
Well, I wouldn't have been here on the 21st.
See, that's
Oral.
I can't be here on either of those days, so. I think that's making any change.
And I could be on both, so we'll be 14.
And is it at the Warrensburg branch? Is that correct? I have it
Yes,
on the
and
chart.
then we'll have the go-to meeting as
Yeah.
well, because usually it's just the consent agenda unless we end up having something that we have to work, ask for approval or something in December. But so, yeah, it usually is a short meeting. So I think most everyone attended virtually last year. So
I move that we change to the 14th.
A second.
Motion by Georgia, second by Jana. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Do we have an director evaluation committee update?
yeah, we're going to do
Okay.
it. We haven't met because Jackie's been out and we really just kind of got the forms in about the last
Couple weeks, yeah, something like that.
So, but we do hope to meet and at least get out some of the forms that go out to the employees and try to decide on what form we're going to use and send it out by December so that we can evaluate in January.
Do we need to bring that back to the board before we use it for approval? I don't really know the process, I would think.
So what are you going to do? I mean, in the past, we always sent something out to.
We have different forms to decide upon. And then
The intention is the intention is to collect information from staff on their evaluation.
yes, but I also feel like the responses should come back to the committee. And I think it was supposed to go into, I guess, your office or the.
However you guys want to do it.
No.
So I just gave you examples of how I have been evaluated in the past. So it's up to you guys how you want to do it.
I'll just tell you how we've done it in the past. If that's what you're going to do, is it came back to a board member.
Yeah.
So that way, people felt like.
Committee is 3 board members.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, well, you had mentioned something about coming back to her office. It's like,
Well, it had said there was an option to that or something, but I feel like it should all come back to the committee.
yes, I would agree.
I do too.
Because I just feel like that you wouldn't get honest answers if they thought that, she was going to open up and look at it before.
But I don't know how we should do it. If we should do it like in a piece of paper that they got to mail back to us or email to us or.
Yeah.
We always just gave them a stamped envelope. At that time, it was my address, but I mean, somebody on the committee would get them, and
We can figure best how we want to handle that, I think. But one thing is, and I appreciate Jackie sending us more than one evaluation form. So we have a lot to read and to look over and to determine how we want to do it. And we'd like to get back in with Jackie and talk with her and make sure that we're evaluating everything that we should be evaluating. And my question is, before we send it out, does the board want to approve it?
Approve our decision.
You mean the form that we're going to use?
I'm sure you guys got that.
I think that's the reason we appointed a committee, because that way the committee can do their work without having to sluggishly bring everything that they're doing back to the board. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to work, but it seems to me that if you're going to appoint a committee, you should allow them to do their job.
I would agree.
And for us to give explanations why we chose certain things. I think so too.
When you're done, you're going to give a report back to the board, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my opinion.
I concur with that.
And if you want to do an update at the December meeting, I can put it on the agenda for December. If you want to do an update at the December meeting, I can put it on the agenda again under unfinished business.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And then the proposed rule. You wanna, yeah, I know.
This was on the news last night.
You're going to hear a lot about it.
I appreciate the resolution that's been brought forward, and I'm looking forward to signing it.
This was kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm giving you has been created, and a lot of it because it's kind of a statewide effort, if you will. And so the template was created, then we could change, edit however we want. So I did send that out. I'm not sure if everybody, but I do have hard copies if anybody wants to take a look at that if you didn't get a chance electronically. So I can just pass these around. And then if you guys want to
do the resolution, in opposition, then I already have it ready there and you guys can sign it tonight.
Can we, are we free to pass it out to
Yes.
anybody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, any of the information.
I can, think today, and I actually talked to State Representative Terry Thompson a couple of weeks ago at the trunk or treat, and told him what I thought of this. and I was going to email, and he had me CC my email that I sent to them.
So just out of curiosity, what's his opinion on this? What was his opinion on
He's
a
really
politician?
not
Okay.
a politician. But I had the feeling that he agreed
Mm-hmm.
with what I was saying, but he was being a politician
Mhm.
and not saying a whole lot. You know, I will say that Terry, when they're down there in the state legislature, there's a lot of pressure on the Republican representatives
Mhm.
to vote the way they want them to vote,
Mhm. Yeah.
or they threaten to defund them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds
you know,
familiar.
and he was trying to vote a lot for in a positive way for like the rural schools, and had some issues. I mean, he didn't tell me that, but I know
Mhm.
that. And so he tries to, you know, not say a whole lot. But I got the impression that he did agree with me.
Mm-hmm. So do you know how many state representatives cover our district? I mean, we got House,
We could have.
and then, but I don't know if there's any, because there used to be a
Like
couple in Lafayette County.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't know right off.
now
the top of my head.
there's the 53rd and the 51st district.
Okay.
That covers Lafayette County, because the line goes kind of almost through Odessa
Mm-hmm.
on that part. So I don't know how many are in Johnson County, to be honest.
I don't know.
County includes 51, 52, 53, and 54. It looks like Knob-Noster may be in 52. Warrensburg is mostly in 54, but part of Warrensburg is in 51.
But we all have the same state senator, don't we? Denny?
Jenny.
Is Denny yours? Okay.
For a short period.
Well, okay. I didn't know how
For a short period of time, because they've changed that rule or whatever. So thank goodness I'm not going to have Denny for too much longer.
well, neither will we, because he's got his eye on something higher, I know.
But then they're moving Lafayette, part of Clay, Ray County, Saline County, Howard County, and Cooper.
I don't think
County
there's a library.
are all going to be in the 21st state senatorial district.
Hmm. Well, that means we're getting a new one too. then.
Scotty,
Yeah.
look at this teeny tiny little edge by Bates City. That little yellow speck that comes across the county border.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that absurd?
Yeah, it is.
West of Bates City, there's like 1 square mile.
That's the reason we
And
love our.
Are we looking at state? Is this state representative?
This is state representative. So you can see here where Warrensburg is. They've basically split it in half,
Uh-huh.
which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But
Did a lot of
Do we want
Yeah.
all of us sign one? Like,
So I'm
If you guys would have to make motion and in order to do that.
Okay.
that's 99% of Lafayette County.
Yeah, Terry Thompson is, I'm in that district too, so that's.
I would encourage everybody to contact their state rep too, in addition to
Yeah,
the
everybody
Secretary of State. Yeah.
send your own
Mhm.
comment
When
in.
you make a comment, are you, like, do you do it as an individual? Do you?
You can do it as an individual, but this, what we're looking at tonight is for the board.
But you
Mhm.
can also make.
Absolutely.
You just do it as a citizen
Yes.
or.
Mhm.
Yep.
As an individual, sign my name, my initials, and then just put Lafayette County, and I did not mention in there that I was a.
Okay, that's what I wondered, yeah.
Yep. You encourage, friends, family, strangers, anybody to
comment, whether they're in opposition. Hopefully, we hope they're in opposition, or whether they're.
No, I didn't know if it was important to do it as a board member or as a
Both.
both.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, you can't do it as both, can you?
Because as a board, yep.
Different comments?
Because as a board, you are putting the comment
Yeah,
as a board, and then every one of you can do it individually as
Just do
well.
it, but I can only do it in.
My pen. Where's my
Yes.
Yeah.
I move that we sign one of these as a board.
I second.
All right, we have a motion by Georgia and a second by Jana. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So are we going to sign, go around the table, sign it right now? So we just, okay, let's just go ahead and do it.
You want to use mine?
May I
and
use
start?
your phone?
I even have it.
I'm not kidding. The table ate my pen.
It's in between your papers.
Oh.
Thank you.
I knew I had one.
It did each.
I'm telling you, I need something.
Man.
And Jana,
Not just the young people.
I
I
can
guess
help-
we are the young people, aren't we, Scott?
and Jana, I can help you draft the comment for the board if you want me to, because we're working from templates and stuff just like this one.
Okay.
If you want me to.
Maybe I'll come by your office tomorrow. Are you in the office tomorrow?
No, I'm actually out, but I am in half a day Friday.
What time Friday?
9 to at least noon, if not 1. And we have until December 15th,
Okay.
so we have time.
I might come around 10
I have
unless
no idea what
a
my
meeting
second
comes up.
daughter
Right
is
now I don't have anything Friday.
My son-in-law
All right,
is-
I'll put it down. So if you have time, just stop by.
We have a host staff.
So
Hers- Yeah, hers.
are library staff allowed to talk to patrons about this?
Yes.
I know this is kind of a political issue,
Mhm.
so I just didn't know if,
He's making good.
So
I know that my
we did
daughter
look into that with the Missouri Ethics Committee. Like I said, this would have been a statewide.
Is,
He figured
libraries in particular. And so, yes, that
Oh,
is kind of different than like when someone's running for election or anything like that. So this affects libraries directly. And so, yes, we can tell people we're opposed to this and why, and this is why you should pay attention to this and all of that. So we have pushed talking points out to all staff members. So if they're approached, to ask any questions, and then we are encouraging them at the desk to share with patrons when they come in. I think Warrensburg is planning on doing a display in response to it. They asked me today, can we do a display? I'm like, well, because of the topic, please let me approve before we reveal it to the public. I just want to make sure. And so I think they're planning on doing that. And then I have some more stuff that I'm hoping to get out to them before Friday. So.
okay. I'm just glad that they can talk about this. So
Yes, me
okay.
too. I was super happy to hear that we didn't have to stay neutral.
Well, I didn't hear everything that they were saying about it on the news, but they were talking about it last night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear his interview with the radio guy over in KCMO?
Mm-hmm.
So he actually, our state Secretary of State actually crossed the state line to go to KCMO to announce this, which I have issues with that myself. I mean, on its own, but he referred to librarians as bureaucrats, and that just boiled me to no end. And he said, he said something to the effect of, we don't need bureaucrats pushing stuff down our children's throats or infecting their minds or something. It's like, oh, but you're okay being a bureaucrat pushing stuff down our children. It's like,
Well, I thought it was,
I don't know that I've ever walked in any library anywhere my whole life and had a librarian meet me at the door and say, you've got to read this.
Unless it was just a really good book.
For a juicy story.
Yes.
I don't know, just the whole idea that he referred to librarians as bureaucrats. That just really.
Well, is that who he was referring to, though?
Yes, he referred to librarians as bureaucrats. That was his
said
word.
that.
Yes.
And I told Jackie a couple of my points that I put in mine was whose definition of prurient, what, are you going to use? The fact that he's talking about minors, which are anybody under the age of 18.
Depends on which definition you use.
Yes, and which definition of minor you're going to use there.
Mhm.
And the fact that teenagers, if you consider them minors, they can go over the adult section and get those romance books or anything. And even and read those. So are you going to take those, do something with that?
Are we gonna have locked rooms?
And how is a library like this supposed to have locked rooms?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the absurdity of at the bottom of the proposal that it would cost each branch no more than $50 or something.
$500.
$500.
Just in staff time alone, dealing with this already is way over $500.
Yeah, they have not accounted for.
That's
We're
the
having
parents'
trouble with pens over here.
They don't, not at all.
It's just ridiculous. Let the parents decide what they want their children.
If you're concerned about what's on the shelves in your library, you can use the digital catalog, order your books for pickup, and you never have to bring your children inside.
And you
We're
can also
fighting to get children in the libraries, and then you want to tell them, oh, don't touch that, don't look at that.
And they have no clue as to what kids are looking at on the internet anyway. You know?
Exactly. That's a good
I guarantee there's nothing in the library that they can't.
Uh-huh. Well, there was a library in Brooklyn, I believe, that was issuing cards to anybody in the United States. Yeah.
For the band book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the Banny books, I looked at that list and I used to teach I used to teach first grade, and I read Charlotte Swift every year to my children. And it is a wonderful book that little kids need to hear. But what is it
what is objection? Because it's been a long time since I read that story. So what's objection?
Talking animals.
Talking animals.
Witchcraft. It's
Okay, so Bugs Bunny is a talking animal.
Example, when I was in ninth grade, we had a list to read of books years ago, and I chose The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck.
Yeah, that one.
And that one has a lot of profanity in it, but it was on the list, and it didn't affect me because I don't really hardly spread that all. But when we went around to give the teacher the name of the book that we were reading, she said, "Does your mother know you're reading that book?" And I said, "Oh, yes, she does." My mother had never read The Grapes of Wrath.
You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, she knows I'm reading the book. I know my mother's never read this book. But it didn't affect me in the fact that, all of a sudden I just started doing all this swearing. It was like, let me just get through this book. All this profanity is in the way of the story.
Get over all that,
Yeah.
When my oldest daughter was in the 4th grade, of course I was in the military, so I had a different perspective of things. And she had this green chalkboard, but she had a blacklist up there. And the kids came home from school, they were playing in the front living room, and they referred to this as the blacklist. So-and-so was on the blacklist. I said, blacklist? Well, that means you're bad. I said, why are you bad? Because you just are. Okay, what color is the chalkboard? It's green, and the chalk is, So I visited the school the next day with this teacher, and I was sitting there visiting with her, and I said, what is that up there? Oh, that's the blacklist. I said, why is it black? The chalkboard is green. And she said, well, from Moby Dick, of course. The white whale was, good. And what's his name was bad because he was black. I said, I don't think that's the reason we read that book.
Goodness.
And I said, now, I live with these people in the same dormitory. I work with them day to day. And I said, many of our children are going to be doing that too. I said, I don't agree with you, and I would hope that's not the reason you're teaching it. Of course, we're up talking like 15 miles from the Canadian border, so. But she changed the title of what it was called. I said, why not call it a discrepancy list? Oh, I never thought of that. So that was my 2 cents as to why we were and weren't using it for farms.
Well, I'm just really happy that we all agree on this.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid that there might be somebody who would not be in agreement.
Okay, I don't agree with it.
Well, and we know, Cass County, Mid-Continent, that some boards are not all on the same page as far as this goes, which is sad.
I saw Mid-Continent just got a new director.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
And their response to this, I told her it was on the TCTV5 page, and you could click on it, and it was, you read the Kansas City Public one, which is pretty upfront, but you read Mid-Continent, it's kind of a little like, we need to look at this a little bit more before we make a whole lot of statements about it. It was kind of a little wishy-washy, I thought. Not very specific going.
She's from out of state.
Wow. Mid-Continent used to always promote from within.
He's from out of state.
Susan,
But
Susan wouldn't take it.
Do what?
Susan wouldn't take it. They've tried. I mean, she's like, I don't want any part of it.
If you have time, go by your school and have your school librarians, teachers, anybody else.
You're having a hard time. Public schools right now.
Yes, they are.
All right.
Wow.
Do we have, and what do you do? You're going to mail this to them or?
Well, this is just for the resolution for you guys. And then in the resolution, that the secretary of the board will draft a statement opposing the rule. That will be much longer. And like I told Dana, I can help her draft that because we're working from some of the same templates and making sure we hit all the
I
points.
want to make sure we get the legal language accurate and effective.
She can take all of our signatures though and attach them at the end.
Absolutely. We can attach this to that. Absolutely.
Okay.
And will we have the opportunity to get the other signatures from the board members who are not in attendance today? Potentially?
Potentially, yeah.
Does any other states have this?
Not yet. Not yet, but they will. It's coming. It's the political environment right now. Yeah, it's coming.
I wonder who is backing this? Who's pushing it? Whose agenda is it? Because I guarantee you it's somebody's agenda. Somebody that's contributing to political, the lobbyist or whatever, whoever's backing the politicians is generally who's pushing the agenda. And then of course they go along with it so that, and they may agree with it, so that they can get elected to whatever office, whatever position.
I think there's a real push in politics right now to keep parents stirred up. And we see that with school, and we see this with the library.
Divide you.
And it's an effort to discredit us. School, especially, is a huge budget out of the Missouri coffers. And quite frankly, they want the money. I mean, they really do. And there's just so much going on that's really hard. And now they're attacking libraries and books. I think we need to get our PTO moms and PTA moms, give them a little bit of mama love in terms of, if they knew all that's going on, I think parents especially would be upset.
You look at the most recent ballot, as far as your down ballot races, your state representatives, and I'm sure Lafayette County was the same as Johnson County. You had one choice.
Yeah.
Democrats don't even put anybody up.
Yeah.
That's
there were 93 uncontested.
Yeah.
Because you can't get anybody to.
That's right.
That's it. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Can't get anybody to run.
Because the system is so loaded that, I mean, why run if you don't have any chance?
Right.
I can remember. Do they have Library Legislative Day anymore?
As far as I know, I think probably with COVID, it maybe kind of trickled off a little bit. But yeah, as far as I know, they still have it.
We used to go. Yeah, we used to go every year.
I would like to learn more about that.
I mean, it was great. You met with the legislators, and you found out the ones that were really into their job, and the ones that could care less if you were there or not. And Mike McGee from your area. He always, I disagree. I agreed with him on nothing, but he was always very receptive when we'd come down there and ask questions. And Joe All from Lexington? I mean, he was always very receptive, but there was some state senator from up this way that Karen Hicklin and I went 5 years in a row, and the guy acted like he never saw us before in his whole life. Just it's a twiddle his thumbs. Yeah.
Terry Thompson is very receptive.
Yeah. Just depends on how much he wants to toe the line, you know. But that's to me, that's where it comes from. You have one choice to vote for. It's like,
Yeah.
so.
And it depends upon where you are. I mean, obviously, when you get into the Kansas City area. And
Well, yeah.
And the Springfield, you have a little bit more.
Right.
And the Democrats actually in the state legislature this go around actually picked up 3 seats. They lost 2, but they actually picked up 5. So got 3 more seats.
Yeah. But I just know in our area, nobody even runs. Yeah.
There's 6 Democrats in our community, I think. Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it, Judy?
No, I can find a few.
There's more than you think. People just don't want.
Yeah.
They don't want to
That's
say anything.
yeah.
Talking politics can get you in trouble. Really.
Yeah.
And that's because nobody wants to talk anymore. They just want to yell. And it's like if people would just talk, you know.
I'd be happy if it stopped at yelling.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
that's not where it stops
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, our political agenda has become very attackful,
We don't have.
and I don't like that. I don't like that we're campaigning on negative, hateful.
Yeah, nobody has anything like, this is what I can do is
Yeah.
look at how bad the other guy is.
Yes, it's tear down, and I just don't agree with that politics whatsoever. I don't care what side it's coming off of.
As opposed to this thing we're just talking about, because that wasn't it the Kansas City Public Library said this was a solution to a problem that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
the main word is yet.
Well, I like that.
It may be a problem for some folks in the larger cities that don't give a hoot and don't know what's going on anyhow.
I tried to talk to my neighbor about this last night, and he says, I don't care anything about it.
Exactly.
I said, well, it affects your children.
And what if they came and took all of his books that he considered important and took them out and burned them?
Yeah, it affects your children. His children are in high school and going to college. This affects your children and any children they would have.
Yeah.
That's what I always said about the library in Holden. You may not use the library, but this makes your community better, you know? And you may not use it, but your neighbor does, or, you know, that person over there does. And why do you only care about you, you know?
I got to a wonderful paint class yesterday at the Holden Library. Now, don't you be laughing at my painting.
I don't know about
Kindergartners. But anyway, I would say they were between 20 and 25.
Yeah,
people.
probably.
And people of all ages. And it was just, I just thought to myself, she had things for little kids. She had things for non-artists.
There were a couple teams. And
some of the kids from the middle school. And it was really cool.
Our paint program has always been well attended.
It's good.
They're-
It's very relaxing.
they're just doing a
even
real-
if you're not good. I should try it sometime. Yeah.
I will not be relaxed.
I'm just real happy. I mean, I know we've said this before, but I'm just real happy with the librarians that we have in the Holden branch. I just feel like they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job, and they're getting people back in the library.
Yeah.
And I was really concerned about that, and I think they're doing a wonderful job.
I'll pass that on.
I forgot
think
to
that's
ask
true with
Amy while she was here. Does she have any staff, or is she one woman?
She has a part-time, so a 19-hour employee. Connie is her name. And she was here until 6, and then she had to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Odessa, because I pop over there with
Mhm.
Kendra group, and I'm in the book club, but I know they've gotten some teams in there with some Dungeon and Dragon thing that they're doing, and they had, I think, a 6-week cooking class that for teens that came. They had a trivia night that they had teens come, so they're getting some of the
Yeah, I think Odessa is probably as as far as our teens, is probably the most successful branch right now. So
They're all doing a bang up
Yeah.
job.
Mhm.
They
They
really
got
are.
adult craft thing on Saturday morning that they have a full crowd there, I think, for that.
yeah,
I'm proud of all of them.
I'll let them know.
Mm-hmm.
We will pass it on.
And I have also noticed that going into places, some of the COVID restrictions are coming down.
The hospitals even. Yeah.
The doctor's offices, you don't have to wear masks. I went into Walmart and all the barriers were gone, and I'm like, whoa, what happened?
I know.
The pandemic's over, didn't you know?
We got the flu. Yeah.
Flu and RSV, that's the thing now.
RSV.
Came down.
The kids.
Older people do.
Yeah, older people and kids. Yeah.
You don't even have to be older.
Immune suppressant. Yeah.
I mean, they're younger than I am. So they're not old.
Don't take it. Don't say that yet. Gotta hang on now.
Okay, moving right along to announcements. I like this next announcement.
So I know we talked about the collection development policy and items that we maybe didn't want weeded out of the collection for special significance to the community, or donated in memory of someone or something like that. So we are able to use a pop-up note to identify those items. So anytime the item is scanned, it will be like, do not remove from the collection. So it would only be removed if it was basically condition. It was just completely falling apart. So
That's great.
Oh, this is even more exciting than I thought, because I thought you were just going to put a post-it note there. I was like, well, that's not going to last.
You need to read it.
It doesn't say an electronic pop-up note.
yes, it's in our catalog, and so it will pop up every time you scan that item.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you be kind to the book and don't get it distracted.
So can I take this a step further, that if it becomes a time when it has to be discarded,
Mhm.
can somebody in the community be notified so that it can be?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
have them add that to the note. You're talking about for the specific
Mm-hmm.
book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure who has to be notified, but
I'll just put my name on the list.
okay.
Yeah, he doesn't.
You're going to nominate yourself.
I'm going to nominate myself. I plan on being there for a while. So on Veterans Day, was the libraries were just closed? Was that a staff training day or something, or was this
No.
closed?
Yeah.
Everybody's okay.
That's one of our holidays.
Okay, I didn't know.
Mhm. Yeah, it's one of our paid holidays.
Okay. And then December 12th and 13th.
Just a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this note down before I forget. Okay. Yes. So on December 12th and 13th, so we're going to have an administrative retreat. So it'll be director, assistant director, and our department managers, so that we can work on strategic plan. It just kind of gets us what we've been using the term off the hamster wheel, so that we can focus on that, assign duties, because and who's going to be responsible for what, to make sure that we're meeting those goals for our first year. So we're looking at that, and then we'll have a couple other things that we'll be working on as well. And then it'll help us start with some of those things, like with one of the things that we're working on is a marketing plan. So Tessa and I are reading a book together and having discussions, and so we'll finish that the week before, and then she should be able to have some time to start working on that and kind of the approach and how we're going to do the research and things for that. So just gives us an opportunity without having to worry about a million interruptions and phones ringing, emails, things like that. We're actually Anita Love, she has built a new house, and so she has invited us to go over there. We were just going to do it at one of the other branches, like at Odessa or something, but she offered to do that, and so she's going to host us for those 2 days.
Great.
Yeah. So
Well, when I first read her, I thought, well, snap, yeah. And then as I read down through the terms, it's administrative. Oh, okay. So we're not bringing all of our branch managers in there again, and employees.
We are having another manager's training in January, and we're going to be training on budget and going over the strategic plan. If we have to assign any roles to branch staff, that's when we'll be doing that, and hopefully answer their questions and just go over the entire budget process from beginning to end, because as we're discovering, a lot of them don't really know how that works. So we're going to train them on it, and we'll have a new form for them to fill out for their budget request for each of the branches and the departments. And so they'll have a lot of new stuff as well. And so, yeah, that'll be part of it.
Did I read that somebody quit? Was it in the...
It was in the report, I believe.
Technical.
Yes. Technical support, technical services clerk. So Michelle Trench, she resigned. I thought you were talking, we had one in Knob, a part-time. And of course, poor Laura, she has a hard time.
She's just the training person.
I know, she trains on something and goes somewhere else. But yeah, she's had it rough. Since I've been here for sure. And I think she said it's been going on for longer than that.
Before,
yeah.
She didn't have a full-time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. She had what, 2 part-time?
2 part-time. And that's what it's been for years.
Is there a problem why we can't seem to keep IT people in there, or?
It's not IT, so it's tech services. So that's your processing and your cataloging, collection development. So that's kind of where we do selecting. I'm not sure. They went to. This is another one that went to the university, so we've lost several.
I've been told that Kyle has vowed to get every one of our employees to go to work over there.
No, I don't know.
Have you? That's what I've been told, and it looks like he's done a pretty good job.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah, he's at the.
And you know what I think about that? That university operates on a different budget than we do. They may end up without a job.
As an employee of that university, I can confirm. It feels pretty good when you start, and I've managed to hold on for a decade, but I'm one of few.
Yeah. So we wish them well, and they have to make the best choice for.
I didn't know if maybe there was a problem in our.
Not that I'm aware of. And of course, we do the exit interview, so I have not been made aware of anything. So I know she had some personal stuff going on, so that could have contributed to her decision. The one that's leaving in Knob Noster, she's able to get more hours and a higher salary. So we could not compete with that.
So no luck in getting our technical services people replaced?
Not yet. We have
getting
not,
applicants, or
we are getting some applicants, but they do not meet the minimum qualifications. And I cannot put someone in charge of a tech services department if they've never cataloged ever, no experience at all.
They don't know.
Why would you apply for a job if you don't have qualifications?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Well, I was quite surprised in reading the report. There's the one person whose grammar was terrible. I'm sure she's got a degree.
Oh, well, I must have missed that. Usually I edit and fix all of that.
It was me. My grandma.
Employees reports.
Yeah, I usually go through and check all that, but I guess I missed that.
I would have expected it down at the branch level, but not at your administrative level.
And I will say, as far as the tech services or catalogers, it's not just us. It's I'm seeing it statewide and nationwide. For one, usually people that catalog, they don't want to deal with people. They want to deal with things. And so when you are looking for a manager, they're having to manage people and of course the collection and everything. So that makes it even harder. And then of course in the current environment, it's even harder. We're not the only ones that are suffering.
So is there a plan for board and staff Christmas party this year?
There is. We're in the works of that right now. So hopefully, I'm not sure if it'll be by the end of the week, but you should be hearing something very soon on a date and time and everything.
Does that mean you're going to attend?
I might this year.
Yay.
I haven't been able to go for the last
The
few.
last
few years. Any other announcements? Any other things to discuss?
I'm going to have a grandbaby. And
Another
three.
one? Oh, yay.
Three.
Congratulations.
Thank you. May.
It'll be here before you know it.
Announcement you, Matt.
Yeah. Well, you and Carlin missed my big announcement. My big announcement is this is the last time I have to come to Waverly in the dark. So.
Well, no, we heard that.
Oh, you did? Okay. I thought you weren't here yet.
I love it over here, though, in the daylight.
You know, in the daylight, yeah. Okay, I'll adjourn the meeting, and I guess we'll see each other either at a Christmas party or at the next meeting in December 14th.
And Warrensburg.
Thank you, everyone.